It just isn't that easy. And, I don't know what the answer to that is. Some countries have active coin markets. Some don't. Right now, I know for a fact in Latin America, it is almost impossible to get coins. You can get them 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. And that's it. And the same is true in Europe. And I've talked to several dealers who deal in Europe. They said, we just, we can't get very much from there anymore. I think, Melody, the best thing for people to do...
They need to do their own research.
Yeah, and not only that, my feeling is this. If you get a couple of $100,000 worth of coins, I think you should sell them out and rebuy in the foreign country. I mean, unless you've lived there before, how do you know you're even going to stay there? I mean, when the shooting starts in the streets of Panama City or San Jose or Montevideo or wherever you are you going to want to be there? I mean, try taking those coins out and back in the United States. It ain't going to be easy. Maybe the best thing to do is leave them with someone in the United States or bury them someplace. I don't know.
It's a suitability thing. And, it all depends on how much you have. Each case is different. And there are various places that you can get the items shipped to you, but you have to do your own research and where you're going to go. We don't have the answers, we can kind of direct you and help you in that respect, but hey, find out for it's like tax information. I'm not going to tell anybody about their, what the appropriate tax rate is. Contact your tax accountant. I'm not a tax expert. I'm a gold and silver coin expert, so you need to, do some of your, that way, if anybody makes a mistake, it's you, and we can't get blamed for it. But there's another article that came in today. We've gotten boatloads, both Bob and I, about this counterfeiting. And the article that's circulating is tbrnews.org. And I'm not sure who produces that. I'm not sure, who the people are or, what their involvement is in producing these articles or who they are in producing these articles. So, but obviously it caught on like fire. And so we'll discuss this for a little bit. And counterfeiting is not new. Sure, the Chinese are producing more of these counterfeits, but it's happened before. It's been happening for years. And most places that carry, or places that have the most exposure to counterfeiting would be like eBay, pawn shops, your corner local stores. I mean, if someone's trying to eliminate or get rid of some counterfeit coins, do you really think they're going to ship them to a place like me to where it gets absorbed in my inventory, to where they have to wait in order for a check, and they're going to have to go cash the check in order to get the funds for their coins? They're not going to go through. They have counterfeit coins, and usually counterfeit coins are very bad. I mean, it's pretty obvious to pick out counterfeit coins. So they're not going to come to a company like myself. The dealers that I buy from, I spoke to one today. He says, he says, I'm looking at a saint. He's going to send me. He says, I'll send it to you to show you. He says, but they're foreign gold. He says, every coin that gets put in inventory, he looks at. So, people, we've been in business for 30. If you put all the experience together, you're looking at, hundreds of years of experiencing and looking at coins and counterfeit coins. So this is why you want to build a relationship with someone like myself, because it eliminates that prospect of you obtaining any type of counterfeit coin. PCGS, NGC, supposedly the federal government, the FBI, it has been reported, and they are involved in trying to slow up coins coming from China and anywhere else for that matter. NGC, PCGS, they're working on it. They're changing their cases around to try to avoid any more counterfeiting of the slab coins. But most of your coins will be the circulated coins, your foreign coins, those types of coins. That's where you'll see your major, fraud going on, and counterfeiting. most of my fraud will come from bad credit cards. And my fraud's from credit cards and cashier's checks. I don't worry that much about counterfeiting. When people sell coins back to me, I ask where they bought them. If they bought them from someone I don't know, they get sold right onto the market because I'm not going to absorb that in my inventory. And they probably won't get as good a price for it either. And prices don't get locked in right away. So it pays to purchase and build a relationship with one person. And trying to save $5 and $10, $15, sometimes it certainly can be more costly to you.
Well, there's 2 points. Don't deal on eBay unless you want your head handed to you.
I know it. They're not setting the price of coins. I just can't believe the things I hear.
Well, another thing, too, is that one of the reports I saw stipulated, and this came out of Europe, this report, stipulated that the part of the gold that was being held, some of the gold that was being held by GLD, the ETF, may well have been gold that was purchased via China and was not standard. In other words, instead of having 30 kilos in a bar, there was 29 and a half and nobody bothered to check it out, that sort of thing. Or they used more alloy than they should have. And I was told this morning by somebody in Europe that there could be a big scandal in regard to where the gold was coming from that was being purchased by the ETF, which is GLD, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And, I've written about the fact that we can't figure out where the gold's coming from. And it could have been that they've been buying gold that is not up to snuff. And the Chinese don't care.
No.
You confront them and they'll say, so what, it's your problem, not mine. I mean, look what they did with the food. All these terrible, the fish and the chickens and the milk, and there's no standard. They're just absolute criminals when it comes to doing business. I mean, anybody that does business there is just dumb.
The counterfeiting from China is not new. I mean, look what all they've done. They've counterfeited all kinds of music, tapes, videos, antiques, I'm a collector of cookie jars. You have to be very careful of, cookie jars because, there's a lot of them that come out of China. They learned how the technique in order to make them look cracked, to make them look old. And, it is very difficult. And it shouldn't have any negative impacts on the price of things. It should make good quality coin prices go up because of the security and so forth. And NGC, PCGS, and ICG, they all stand behind their coins. Many of them have paid for their coins because it certainly will hurt their industry and their credibility if they don't put a stop to it. But so it shouldn't have that much of an impact except for what Bob is talking about, the ETFs. That's something totally different. But there is, again, just another reason, buy your coins and take possession. Don't become involved in paper things like these ETFs and the gold money and the gold, email gold and all that other kind of stuff, Bob, it seems like everybody is just trying to get as much as they can, they tried to save $1, and then in the meantime, it's hurting them more than helping them.
Well, that's for sure. And it's going to get worse as time goes on in every sphere of business. It's going to become almost impossible to deal with people. And that's what we're headed for.
Bob, I have tried to sell coins back to local dealers. I remember a couple years ago, I went to a local dealer. It wasn't here. It was in another state. By the time I was done, he was ready to throw me out of his shop because he wanted to take my gold coins. They were circulated, and he wanted to take my gold coins. He wanted me to go away for a couple of hours so he could have someone see if they were real. And folks, if someone's been in the business for any length of time, they know whether coins are real or not. You know, so there's all kinds of goofy things, and just because these local dealers are in business, their grandfather started the business, doesn't mean that they're good. You know, because they get their inventory from the walk-in people. They don't deal with places that we deal with. So, you know, we do have to be a standard above everyone else. How can individual companies legally prepare to prevent their 401ks being taken over or requiring their investment in U.S. Treasuries, as mentioned in your online portion of your newsletter?
Talk to your congressman and have everybody else do the same thing.